The Punch TV.
Charge of roads ewo Ghana. Your friend no Asenso Boachi. Enso akasa afa road tolls ho. Na ede na Asenso Boachi ekaye.
Ready before we take action, before we intervene. But maintenance also means money. In many countries, they use the tolls that they collect from the proceeds from road tolls to finance maintenance. But in our case, we are suspended. I think it's a good time for us to start the discussion to bring this road tolls back. So that we can get money to maintain our roads. That is very important. So at our ministry, we have started the process by engaging the various stakeholders to get their buy-in to make sure that we bring the road toll back. This is very important. I have never seen any serious country where they don't toll their road. Ready before we take action, before we intervene. But maintenance also means money. In many countries, they use the tolls that they collect from the proceeds from road tolls to finance maintenance. But in our case, we are suspended. I think it's a good time for us to start the discussion to bring this road tolls back. So that we can get money to maintain our roads. That is very important. So at our ministry, we have started the process by engaging the various stakeholders to get their buy-in to make sure that we bring the road toll back. This is very important. I have never seen any serious country where they don't toll their road. Yeah, but in our country, anytime that you want to, take money from citizens, we depoliticize it. So everything is politicized. This is a way of cautioning our political leaders that when it comes to national development, let us all come together in a bipartisan manner so that we can collectively develop our country.
And so what you say, the Caribbean way between Tumpon, Abraham Jeto, any road tolls. Into on a obey a road minister, I was starting didn't come out on himself road tolls in the baba. Minister said road toll be a ma. Now, one steady bibi. As I what your cassette say, I say, I'm wakwata. One steady. As I what your cassette say, I'm wakwata. Only the same. Oh my goodness, Messi bro from to two the road tolls. Everybody in this country and the citizenship and the citizen, the same way na wakwata so kasa. Omu to two bro for muntia wakwata. Wakwata.
We have programmed to do between 2021 and 2024 11,000 kilometers of road, out of which we are convinced and we are hopeful and we are confident that 6,000 would have seen total completion, and the remaining 4,000 would have been at different stages of completion, some of them substantial completion by 2024. This is the program for the road sector that has been put forward by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa's government.
Penyino okwero do abesha na de we omkasa ba hat omkasa pepe no tolls and omutu brofo omutu ne ha no mabuka no maka omodo mo ha no de brofo ha panyan no mahumoja no ma head kanyan amwakwata ne eye one eye asenso bwa difference be no. But the most important thing in the say the most important thing say yes, see road tolls no enya de eba back into obi agina platform bi aso ka chese road tolls ba oboa na lady no kan sem bebre o kan sem so efa eye LGBTQ senior Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo finance ministry Adams, a man warning says, or the Sasha Ghana be lose about $38 billion. Or Busan say, Sasamono, a finance minister, and our finance ministry, no, and a man, a Kufuado warning, and into the Kufuado unsigning anti-LGBTQ, bill, no. Busan say, sa information I got to Kufuado national, omo, and the me Kufuado, into the Kufuado unsign, and answer the.
This was an internal memo that the ministry, usually with anything that occurs, I mean, we sit to deliberate on, the positives, and if there are any negatives or if there are any challenges, we see how best we can address those challenges. And so just like a normal management meeting where we looked at our expenditures, and then we also looked at our revenues. And upon the passage of the bill by the House, of which I am a member, we heard certain sentiments from certain stakeholders. And so what we sought to do was to see how best we can address any revenue gap issues should they arise as a result of the passage of this bill. That was what we sought to do. And it was an internal memo. It wasn't a memo that was to be sent outside, because we were sitting to see how best we could just close the gap.
Did the president request for that advice?
Showed anything?
Did the president request for that advice?
Mr. Chairman, I said it was an internal memo, just like we have our daily, weekly meetings, and so we were discussing this in our meetings.
But it ended up being a letter to the president advising on the potential loss to the country of $3.8 billion from the World Bank alone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I still stand by the fact that it was an internal memo, and it had nothing to do with that. We were only looking within to see how best, should any gaps arise, how best we could close those gaps respectfully.
The question she was asked was simple. Ebusana say, "Sa letter na free finance ministry. Ye nyina ye hu say akota president nim say anti-LGBTQ bill na beto de nim no or sign a $3.8 billion a World Bank de be man enya ade abeba eno na ma president say on sign no. Ye busana say mo na mo de sign instructions no advice no ekoma president intia one sign or say internal memo." The question was, how did it get to the president? If an internal memo has gotten out to the president and it's in the public, and the president referring to it, then it means say meeting now it was not a closed door meeting. The question was simple. If it was an internal memo, how did it get to the president? How did it get into the public domain? Because one, you did not deny say the advice wasn't coming from you. That is the first thing. The issue here is you actually confirmed that you people had a meeting, and that was the reason for the meeting. Now the question was, did that meeting at the end of the day, was it about that? Or did you have to say yes? Now why are you now telling us say it was an internal memo? We don't care whether it was an internal memo. At the end of the day, in the meeting, what was the reason for the meeting? Was to tell the president, was to advise the president that if he signs the anti-LGBTQ bill, we are not going to get $3.8 billion. Now, it is not the physical paper that went to the president. That is what the advice. Somebody after the meeting might have walked to the president to say that we had a meeting, and from the meeting we are telling you or advising you that when you sign this, we are going to miss $3.8 billion. We are not talking about the physical paper, somebody holding it and taking it to the president. It could be that one of you walked to the president to speak to him in the office that we have had an internal meeting, an internal memo has been drafted, and the advice from that meeting is that when you sign, you are going to prevent Ghana from getting $3.8 billion. Into Mahama answer clearly shows to say the finance ministry led by Adams, who is a Muslim, who is fasting, they are the ones who told the president not to sign the anti-LGBTQ bill. So, genuanum nkremofo ya bi o. Genuanum nkremofo ya bi. And at the end of the day, omushe chire Emma Baumia, he does not want to state his stance on LGBTQ. Adams and the advising president through this lady that the president should not sign the anti-LGBTQ. Because from her answer, we actually had a meeting. Na meeting na efadia ho. Na meeting ne fa say president sign na nyome bi a enkoye a yensanka. So basically, you had the meeting to tell the president say, when you sign this, we are not going to get this. So we are telling you as the expert, as the finance ministry, don't sign it. Even though one catch president say bi oni maame, but another way which my catch president, edina temanati as we didn't attempt. You don't have to go stand in front of the president and give him a finger for him to know, say, you are telling him, say, udin maame atem. But you can also say in a different way to let the president know, say, you are telling him, say, his mother. It is not about you carrying the paper, walking from your ministry to the Jubilee House. It's about how the message is conveyed. Was it conveyed indirectly? Yes. So you people indirectly told the president, advised him indirectly not to sign the anti-LGBTQ. Osa can send me about depositors. Mo amote Ghana musika ko ka bank mu. Omo so mo ye banking cleanup. A ban way 2020 before elections. Omo ka kire mo say they have paid everybody in Ghana. In fact, banking cleanup they used to over 20 billion or say the end of the year, they have paid everybody. And they busan say banking cleanup depositors omo musika ko ke mu ye ti omo nyina ka ewia na ende Ghana ni bi nam Ghana ye ntua ne ka ne answer odema the parliament committee in any.
The challenges we have is one has to do with the fact that some of these companies have taken the liquidator to courts. And so until we are able to resolve the court issue, government cannot proceed to pay. I remember in 2020, on humanitarian grounds, when the COVID was had a very devastating effect on everybody, government on humanitarian grounds decided to pay 50,000 to all the asset management companies, depositors. And so government went ahead and did that. Government paid, in 2020, government paid, I think, 760 million Ghana cedis. And then in 2021, 580 million Ghana cedis. We still have quite a chunk to pay. So even if you look in the 2024 budget, government has allocated 4 billion Ghana cedis to be used partly to pay for these asset management companies' money, as well as a few NIB and a few other things in there.
So, mo musika kebu na bere ti omo se nipa na aban de adwuma ne hye ne nsa se anka ontuatua depositors omo musika kebu no o se obi di nipa ne court enti esi a oka se pa de se aban betuma aka se obetua sa sika ne de ende enye adwuma efri se nipa na anka ye de tumi na hye ne nsa se onu mom na entuatua sa sika akem omo musika koka banking closure ene banking de clean up omo musika koka bank aban so betua no omo se sa nipa no eye Ghana ni bi de ne court inti until se be wie court asem no ansa na betumi tua mo se mo kai say 2020 before elections nana de danko ekufuado se bi opedi pass inti oyi mu 50,000 Ghana etuatua bi ma nipa bi o se budget ye kan ekrampo no sika dema e wo se ye dema omo a se bi omusika kem no nanso sika de etwa bi to ho o se sa sika no ye dema omo musika kem no nanso your court inti e kire court yi tabono no da men na court be yi akabo so me nkono na nkofo iko omo di musika depositors mo musika kebu de se mo mpa de nya de betu obi aka every said nipa na ban tu no nipa bi wo Ghana de ne court interchire court yi tabono no na emom de omunim ne say budget ye kan yi budget no omu twa sika bi to budget ma omu de ba betu depositors nanso enya de ometumetua every say asem no court akabo so me nkono ne akoto aba de omu de betu teachers kwa omu nibi nurse for ka omu nibi de omu de behwe Ghana omu nibi omu kotam sa sika na ma omu ni sika bi ama into tie sa nkofo de hi omu no mo say we still belong to the middle class but we impro palabasalt na yemo ne djuma ye gu ne djuma since 2017 onye djuma da no a bank manager and the Uchi Uber I say my friends we are in the middle class Mahama should convince us convincing waha you are still talking about convincing because at this point what do you expect Mahama to tell you? When Mahama was in power, you were working. The day Mahama left power, you were kicked out of your job. So what is your motivation for asking Mahama should tell us something? We are the middle class. You are below middle class. You are poor. You are in a struggling class. You are a young You used to work at the bank. You used to have a decent job.
Yama owi akwa baba Mansa Media College. Mansa Media College a school power a TV so any radio so dwumadie. Yaso ye e wo Kumase atonsu. Baby a uwo bia o pese ba Mansa Media College a. Na be hu dwumadie yedi ne hono a. Yentie dwumadie yedi no Mansa Media College.
Say usua bribi wo media mu. Ana o pese ohunu bribi biara e fa media ho. Enso eche kra.
Mansa Media College e wo homam.
Ye wa achechefo a wa kwadire yie wa adetwe mu. Na in studio ni ye newsroom de editwam. Wonsam twemu no ye twe bribi ti se kasebo akenkan ni sinitwa. Ni bebura ekeka ho. Wa multimedia mu nso ye twe bribi ti se sini mfoni asiesie mfoni nitwa ni bebura ekeka ho. Ye betumi nso aboa ama wo de na otwepe asunya bribi wo nkitahudie adwuma ahodo nyinaa mu esan se ye wo yankasa foni nti abwe biara ye ma ya adesuafo kwan ma okọ yode ya twerɛ won adesua dan mu no
ahwefo ehu ekame ese obi biara wo le bosomtwe ase enim abakosema efa nsuo hu menya abofra ketewa bi wo ha ono so se onim abakosema efa le bosomtwe hu
abusuafo ye mama kwaba eba Ghana Pages TV so emra so se the trending issues near koso ewo abe for time fidie ni so ebe somo midin na naje wa akode
Mansa Media College e ma o de we hia bia wo nkutahudie mu